Okay, so I planted these last week, and so they're coming up really nice. Really nice. This over on this side is kale, and this is regular old mustard greens, and this is the third planting of these things, and they're coming up really, really good. They're a good stand here. And then over here, I don't have quite such a good stand. Not quite such a good stand, but they are coming up. I can see them down there, and they will, looks like they will fill in pretty good. Maybe not as good a stand as here. But the key to these things is don't plant them too deep. It's the first thing. Just want to sprinkle them out on the ground and stomp them in. Just walk them in, and then keep them watered. Keep the ground wet for a couple days at least until they start to sprout out, and then you'll see them come up. And of course, I've got way too many in this area, but they'll come on up. And then just water them every day. If you want to fertilize them, you can throw a little 10-10-10 on them. Or they like nitrogen, but you can burn them up pretty easy with that. So anyway, all right, that's the green report for today. You guys go out and grow yourself some food. You might need it. Might need it soon. All right, so this little patch of greens right here is doing really good. It's the first ones I planted, and they're doing really good. As you can see, they're putting on some really nice leaves. No bugs out here. I see one or two grasshoppers, but I don't see any. I got a little bit of bug bites there. Just a little. Not sure what caused that. And there's some there. But other than that, 90% of them are really, really good. I don't put pesticides on greens because they grow so fast and we eat them before the pesticide time runs out as far as when you can eat. Now on the far end down there, I have more greens planted. I just planted them last week. These are about 3.5 weeks old, and they are doing so good. They will be eat probably this next week and ready to go. So anyway, when you plant your greens, like I said earlier, make sure that you simply, for instance, if you're planting them in this area here, you just want to sprinkle some seeds out and then pat them into the dirt. Like that. Now you can stomp them in. If you're doing it on a large scale, you can take your tractor, you can spread them, broadcast them, and then just drive over it with a tractor, and that'll do good. And we just like to harrow the ground, get it nice and soft, sprinkle the seeds out, drive over it with a tractor or stomp them in, and then water it afterwards and keep it wet, and this is the result. Now if you want even more results, you can put some nitrogen out here or some 10-10-10 and harrow that into the ground, and that does really, really well, and it really makes them dark green and kick off. So anyway, that's the green report to the day, and I hope you guys are out planting stuff. I hope you guys are getting ready, because gardening isn't something you're going to do when society fails. It's like everything else, you need to be practicing. You can't just go out and buy a radio and expect to be able to know how to use the radio. You have to practice with it. You can't just go out and buy a gun and expect to know how to shoot a gun. It takes some training. So go out and get yourself some training and get you some seeds, get you a little plot, and start gardening. You might say, well, you know, I don't have a big plot. I don't have a big plot to garden in. Well, I'm going to show you something. If you don't have a big plot, you can go buy you a concrete mixing tray like this. And what I did here is I drilled some holes in the bottom. Not very big holes, just little holes. And then I sprinkled some spinach seeds in here. And these are baby spinach. This was done like 4 or 5 days ago. And they're just now coming up. They're looking really good. Sprinkle your seeds, get you some potting soil, sprinkle your seeds. Now when you put them in, These, you just, once again, you don't want to plant them too deep. You just take your dirt and you just throw them over the top like this, and you pat it down. And that gets your seeds started. As you can see here, see, a few of the seeds didn't get planted here. So we can just take and press them down, and now they'll be coming up soon. And there's some little babies coming up here. Here. This one's got a lot. So if you don't have a large area to grow, you can grow greens in here. You can grow spinach in here. You can grow lettuce, all kind of stuff. I have 3 spinach trays here, and these are brand new babies. So I don't know what this is. We're going to see what this is right here. This is something new in the pan, but you know, you don't have to have a big 5 acres or 1 acre or whatever to grow. You can do it in little trays like this. This is just a couple feet, and you can just about feed your family with that. And what you do is when it grows up, you take your scissors and cut it off, put it in a Ziploc bag, drop it in the freezer, and it'll last, you know. All right. Go out and make yourself, your family, and your fellow warrior better.